Most. Sorry,
Okay.
connecting. Sorry.
Jay was looking like Dirty Dan, bro, from fucking Shanana. And Lenny, the saxophone player.
All right, you're live.
What's up, fool? Bells will be ringing. Sad, sad. I don't know the rest. And there's a lot of Christmas songs. I just know the beginning, bro. And then it turns off my head. I start thinking about reminiscing about Christmas times in the past, Christmas future, and I just don't hear the lyrics. Like Mariah Carey, bro, I could block her out so good that I don't know the whole song, but I know it's a badass song. Because whenever I hear it, I feel happy because I know that Mariah Carey is gonna get paid 1 month out of the year.
Oh, dude, she's making money.
Big money, bro. We gotta write a Christmas song, bro.
Little jingle.
So, by the time we're 80, we're sitting down. What happened? Oh, bro, I got a check for $800 for that song I sold.
Royalties, dude. Michael Bonetti, he's making money.
Is everybody here? Oh, yeah, everybody here.
Yeah, man. What up?
We got Lenny over there from Shana Na, the saxophone player. We have Martin Rizzo here with a yellow beanie. I think that beanie must stink as hell right now, man.
Like a dirty
Wearing
sock.
that beanie since Wednesday. Like, he should be a cartoon character, man.
Hey, little stinky.
Be the new season of Archer, bro. Stinky boy. He'll be a lost son that Amber's character gave away.
I love it. It's in.
It's in. What's up? Everybody can see my rabbit over there chilling. That's Grover.
What up, dog?
That's awesome. He's got a pretty sweet setup.
Yeah, you know what? We adopted him, and he came with a. He said that he's very attached to the bed, so it's a way you could bring the bed with him. Hell yeah! So what's up, everybody? How are you, Amber Nash? We have Amber Nash here, man. What's up, people? We don't really get people that have been in a show for more than a year. Like we get people that talk about pilots, and then when we have them back on the show, we bring up the pilot. You know what, bro? Let's not always gotta be personal, bro. You know they didn't get picked up.
The pandemic.
Yeah, man. Rodrigo, you have a big collection of toys now.
Yeah, I got these in San Antonio like 5 years ago, the Cheech and Chong ones.
And you got that's is that who's that? Pee Wee Herman?
That's Cheech, and then that's a little guy from Toy Story, the guy with the mask. And then a Chong, and then a little Lester.
What's up, everybody, man? Lisa's over there talking to me, distracting me. Amber Nash, she is best known for her character Pam movie on the animated show Archer.
Yeah,
Archer is weird for me, bro, because you know when the voice, the guy that Bob
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Benjamin.
Did you, Amber? How did you get into this? For a lot of people who are thinking, I could do voices.
Yeah. I got pretty lucky. I'll say I started out doing improv. So I still do improv. And I was working at an improv theater called Dad's Garage in Atlanta. And the guys, before they made Archer, they were making a show on Adult Swim called Frisky Dingo. Before that, they made a show called Sea Lab 2021.
I remember that.
Yeah. And so they were just like 5 guys in a dirty little house in East Atlanta that were making cartoons. And we were just some comedians in a dirty little theater doing comedy. And so they knew about us because one of our improvisers was one of their animators. And so they would come see our shows. And when they needed somebody to do a voice, they'd ask one of us to come do it because they could pay us like very little under the table or like a bottle of wine. And we'd do whatever they asked on their show. And so I did 2 seasons of Frisky Dingo with them on Adult Swim. And then when Archer came about, they had already gotten like Jessica Walter, Judy Greer, Chris Parnell, like they had all these celebrities. And then they were like, Amber, do you want to do a voice on this show? And I was like, I didn't even audition for it. And like say all these celebrities and just this like actor from Atlanta. So I haven't asked this, but I really feel like they must have had like a bunch of celebrities that they asked that they couldn't get. And then finally they were like, let's just ask Amber to do it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Those are the best ones, man.
Yeah. And they were friends of mine, and I think that I was easy to work with. So they were like, cool, like sweet. So it's a dream. Like I can't believe it's been going on for so long. I feel like it's just been a year. That's why I'm here.
Crazy.
11 seasons, man.
Yeah, like 2009 when it came out. I remember. That's crazy.
You were 9?
No, I was at 9. It was in 2009.
Oh, I thought you said I was 9 when it came out.
Yeah. There are people though that are like, I used to watch that one as a kid, and I was like, Jesus Christ, so old.
I know, crazy, huh?
So you're from Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's drinking wine, everybody.
Yeah. It's 11 here.
Hell yeah.
What are you drinking?
Jameson and ginger ale.
There you go. We're gonna like talk with you like for like chit chat for a half an hour, and then we're gonna get into other stuff. But you're welcome to stay. I don't know how busy you are, and I know it's late over there.
Yeah. I mean, we'll just see how it goes.
Have you been traveling a lot? How's the pandemic been? Have you been dealing with the pandemic?
I mean, it's been like, shitty like it is for everybody, but I've got a great story. So, during the so last year in December, I adopted the street cat that was living outside of the theater that I work at.
Yeah.
And I was directing a show, and he was like,
cats.
we would feed these street cats. They were like the theater's cats, but there was one of them, and he got so sick, and like he sounded like Darth Vader, like you could hear him breathing across the parking lot. And it was really cold for a few nights in a row, and I was like at home, and I was thinking about him, and I was like, he's not gonna make it. Like he's not gonna live through these few days. So I was like, if I get back to the theater and he's still around, like he hasn't died, I'm gonna adopt this cat and take him to the vet. So that was last year. So then this whole year we've had this cat, and he's awesome. He obviously lived with somebody at some point. Like he's just so sweet. We named him Rub Each Others because he's like super rubby and sweet, and Rubby, funny cat name. And so we've had him this whole time, had him for a year. It's going great. Our dog loves him. She's like a pit bull. They get along great. And then on Halloween, he escaped. He left. My husband was picking up some packages from the front door. He bolted, couldn't get him back. So he was gone for like 6 weeks, but we put up posters and flyers and posted on social media. And like, we have a neighborhood paper. My husband wrote a column about Rub Each Others in the neighborhood paper. Like we were all over the place.
Reward.
Yeah, reward, totally. Everything we could do. And nothing was happening. And we were like, this guy's gone. Like, we're never gonna see him again. And then Saturday, I get a call from somebody. It's like, hey, I saw your poster. Your cat's over here. And I was like, that's happened a ton of times. And it's some other cat that doesn't look like our cat. So I drive over there, and I have a carrier, and I have like a little treat, and it's him. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen this guy since Halloween. And like scrappy, he's white and black, but all of his white fur was like red, like brown, because we have red clay in Georgia. So he's just like so dirty and super skinny. And I get him to come to me, and I'm like, oh my God, it's really him. And the girls that called me are like crying. They're like, oh my God. And so I pick him up, and he's like all cool about it, but he's still a little weird because he's been living outside for a while. And then I'm like, okay, well, I got to get him in this carrier because he's like half a mile from where we live. And then I start to get him in the carrier, and like all hell breaks loose. Like he is just like, like a madman. He rips my hand. So you can see my hand, but like my hands are all ripped up.
Yeah, I ain't going back.
But we got our cat back. So it's just the best thing that has happened during the pandemic. He saved us.
That's badass, man.
Yeah.
Did you cry when you saw your cat again?
Oh my God, I so cried. And I was talking to the girls, and I was like, well, there's a reward. And they're like, we don't care. Like, we don't care about the reward. And I was like, well, I can donate it to a pet shelter. And I'm like bleeding so much and just crying. It was really great.
Wow, the cat made it half a mile away from home?
Yeah. And he was gone for 42 days. Like, it's just crazy.
He's a survivor, huh?
Yeah, he's a scrappy little guy.
Gotta go out and visit the homies, huh?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna like go back to the theater.
That's what we thought. We're like, for sure he's going to go back to the theater, but he never did. I think he's also maybe like a little blind. I don't know. He doesn't have many teeth. Like he's a wreck.
Let's get him some glasses.
Somebody wrote that he probably went on a bender like I did back in the days.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've done a 42-day one?
No, I did a 6 days in a row one.
Ooh!
Like no sleep.
Oh,
Damn.
boy.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. Oh, back in the days. Not no more.
How long did you sleep when, like, after the bender?
Well, when you're awake for like 5 days in a row, like 24 hours, bro. 24 hours, no sleep. Your body like starts when you finally lay down. All your muscles have to catch up to what you're doing now because you've been standing up and running around, hustling, sitting down, drinking, getting up. So you haven't really laid down. Nobody who parties for 5 days lays down unless you're doing heroin. So I never laid down for the last 5 days. I was awake, bro. My eyes didn't close. You know, I used the restroom, I peed, I didn't eat, I didn't drink water. So by the time you lay down, it's like your body is putting itself back together again.
You're like depleted, man.
And I start, no matter how I move, I get a cramp. And I start getting a cramp right here first from sitting down like this for like 3 days. So that's like, I always told Lisa that I did the longest sit-up. So you'd be surprised if you stay in this position like this for a while, you know, you forget about it because you get up. Imagine not getting up for like 3 hours, 5 hours. You're building a long sit-up right there and you forget. So man, when I finally laid down, I felt like my stomach was gonna rupture, fool.
Abs, bro.
Yeah. I felt like, you know what it felt like, Amber? I felt like American Werewolf in London. That pain. You know, when he started to get to like
right before he turns into a werewolf?
The transformation to the werewolf, because that's one of the best transformations of werewolf I've ever seen. And he's crying too, because his mouth opens up like his bones are breaking, going, and his butt rises, and his tail comes out, and then he finally goes, ah. Oh my God, dude. All right, enough of that. I don't want to have nightmares.
Classic.
So I read that you work with troubled teens.
Yeah, I did when I had a real job, before I quit my real job to be an actor. I got a degree in psychology and I worked at this camp, and kids would get sent there by a judge. So like the kids had gotten in some trouble and they would get kind of like sentenced to this camp, but it was therapeutic. Like it wasn't a boot camp. Like it was all about like, we're going to build stuff and learn how to deal with our emotions, but it was state run. And the kids would live outside at this wilderness camp for like a year. And so when I worked there, all the counselors would work like 4 days on, 4 days off. So I like lived in the woods with all these kids that hated me. It was pretty awesome. I mean, I really made some great connections with these kids. Like I was 25 when I got that job and I'm 43 now. So it's been a while. And there's kids that were there. I mean, they were like 17. I was only 25. I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Like telling these kids what to do.
Almost your age,
man.
Huh?
They're like kind of almost your age, you know, like not too far. Yeah.
Yeah, like they'd come back after being at home and like worried about a drug test. And I'm like, I'm worried about the drug test. Like I'm just a few years older than you. But now like I'm friends with a lot of them on Facebook, and like they've had kids and they have families. Like it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it was a great job.
Wow.
Oh,
I remember when I was in rehab, when I came out of rehab and I went back, I'll be in charge of the whole camp for like a day only. So the guy could take a day off, because he lived like 3 miles away from the camp. I remember just staying there, and I would get guys come in and talk to me, and these guys are like 56 years old, and I'm 22. I've been sober 8 months, and like they need someone to talk to, and like I gotta open the door, but I'm really in charge of checking people in. You know, they're like they could leave, they could run, they could ransack the whole place, you know, but there's a trust that we had.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember these guys talking about, talking to me and actually confessing horrific crimes.
Oh, fuck.
And like, and I don't know, like, when I was 22 years old and I was more listening to it like a non-judgmental, you know. But I'm not I feel like sometimes I feel like telling them that I didn't go to school to be a psychologist like Amber. You know, I'm gonna be suffering from this story later. I'm gonna need therapy from you telling me that you walked in with a shotgun into a room, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He's sobbing, you know, like he wants to release this. It's tough, man. Did you get a lot of that?
Yeah, like it was, you know, these kids that, like, the thing is kids that end up in programs like this, it's all, people always think it's because the kids are bad. And it's like, it's not because these kids are bad. It's because they came from a shitty situation and, you know, their parents are the problem most of the time. And so, yeah, man, I heard some stories of these kids where it's just like, shit, no wonder you ended up here. Like, it sucks, but it's probably better here than being where you were. And they always, by the end, were like, you know, it was always a good thing. They're like, I learned so much, and I, you know, and this was before like social media and all that shit, which is like even harder on kids today. Like, I can't imagine being a kid today, like being a teenager right now. Like, holy shit.
Martin and I, we went to go perform at a boot camp in the middle of the mountains over there past the Grapevine. And before we did the show, we were talking to one of the guys who booked us, because I kind of grew up with him, even though he was younger than me, but we're from the same neighborhood. He fought in Afghanistan and Iraq, and he's working in this program where they send kids to a camp. Like, they grab them from their houses and in the middle of the night, and they scare them. They tell them, you're going to be here for 6 months, but it's only 3 days.
Oh, God.
And they have their head down. They're doing really boot camp stuff like mud.
Yeah.
You know, these little girls. And before we started the show, remember we were reading their slips, why they're in there. And I started talking to the guy. I don't know if he liked it or not, but I share my opinion. I say, you know, some of these kids don't belong here, man. I think some of their fucking parents belong here.
Yeah.
Fucking parent, a fucking parent boot camp, bro. I mean, this girl just talked back to her mom. She's 13. That's the rebellious stage, you know. She's finally figuring out that her mom is full of shit now, you know. You know, she probably was at 8, she was all right. At 10, all right. But now she's 13. She's seen how other mothers are, and we're like, wait a minute, this fucking bitch never gave me a hug.
She's there.
Yeah, that's how I felt, you know.
Yeah.
But some of them, you know, were really bad, you know, like, well, okay, he brought a knife to school.
Yeah, dude.
Lock him up.
I remember my friend, well, he's not my friend, dude, but he was this guy that he was like a jokester, bro, trying to be funny all the time. But me and him already have fought, you know. We fought in the cooking class. You know, he got mad because I was talking back about his mom, you know. So he punched me. So he punched him back. So he was making fun of some Japanese dude, like about calling him Shogun Warrior or whatever he was calling him. All kinds of funny Japanese names. Ooh, the next day, that fool showed up with a fucking backpack and 5 metal bow and arrows, bro.
What the fuck?
The first school shooter, dog.
Bro, he was gonna do it all quiet, bro. And that guy, he was lucky because that guy that was bullying him was lucky, bro, that he's also like a pothead party animal. That fool left, dog. He never came back to school for like fucking 8 days. And when I finally told him, bro, this fool came back to kill you, bro, with a bow and arrow. He goes, fuck that fool. He goes, fuck that fool, eh? But yeah, man, that fool was crazy, dude. And there was another kid named Luis. I hope you're not listening, Luis, because we used to go hang. Him and I, our thing with him was cool because my mom would be talking to his mom about something. You know, we live in the projects, and he goes, Felipe, you want to go to my clubhouse? And I like, you're like 10. What clubhouse, man? And then we'll go inside a little closet, bro. And that fool has a little color TV, and he fucking makes me a bowl of cereal, bro. Tight, dog. And then ninth grade, that fool has a list like this, and they asked him, the teacher asked him, what's in that list right there? Oh, these are the people that I'm gonna try to get back at before I die.
Oh my God.
That's how it starts, dude.
And then he goes, and then he fucking said, he started reading the list, and the teacher saw his name, man. He saw his name on the bottom, like number 5 and shit. And then he goes, he took it to the principal, and they go, what happened, bro? They said, better for 3 days, because I put him on number 1. But that guy's a teacher now. He's a very devoted teacher. He's a very nice guy. Shout out to him.
Oh yeah.
What are your most do you have? I know like as a comedian, you know, you get a lot of groupies. Do you have like groupie psycho fans? Comic Con people?
Like the weirdest thing, there's like people that have like Pam tattoos, which is like so rad. There was this,
Hell yeah.
I go to cons and stuff, and they'll be like the best was a Pam cosplayer came up to me, and she lifted up her skirt, and she had like a full thigh piece that was like a giant Pam. And I was like, that is so, it's weird, but it's also so rad. But then there's like weird people. Like there was this one guy that asked me one time to take a close-up picture of the inside of my arm, like because it looks like a butt, I guess.
Oh my God.
And I was like, no, that's really gross. And there's been people that have like asked me to like sign their body parts, and you know, it's just there's weird stuff like that. But I think that goes, everybody gets that.
That's something Mega Man would ask. Hey, Joe Rogan, punch me, bro. I want to tattoo a black eye of your punch.
I got headbutted one time by our executive producer. That was pretty fun.
On purpose?
Yeah. He was just really excited. I was like, why are you headbutting me? Back in the day, like in the early days, man, because I don't think we thought it was going to last for a long time. So like we would go for it. Like we would go hard at cons and parties and
wow.
Yeah, I've drank a lot of free booze.
What's the hardest do you guys like party like at the con and then took it to like somebody's cool hotel room?
Oh yeah. Like there's always like, okay, I'll tell you a crazy story. This is very, very embarrassing.
Tell us.
So we were at the Emmys, which is like super awesome. We got like nominated, went to the Emmys, but there's like the regular Emmys where all the famous TV people go. And then there's the technical Emmys, which is like, so people for like casting or editing, like that's where they get their Emmys, but also that's where animation gets their Emmys. So if they win for like best animated show, they're at the technical Emmys. So what's cool about the technical Emmys is like nobody gives a fuck. Like it's not like, you know, it's not like uptight, and everybody looks super rad because it's a lot of like costume designers and makeup artists. So they're like artists. So they like look awesome. So it's just a really fun time. So we went to the Emmys.
What's that? That guy James, he sneaks into those.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
Great. So we were at the Emmys. We didn't win. And these award shows, let me tell you, like if they're boring on TV, like being there is a nightmare because they're long.
I bet.
Like you're in some stupid outfit. You're sitting in like a tiny chair, like at a basketball arena. Like it's no fun. So we didn't win. So we, instead of like just hanging out for the another 3 hours that it was going to take, we just left. Like we just left during a commercial break and went to the Palm and started drinking. And we were drinking French 75s, which I didn't realize was like champagne with a bunch of gin in it.
Damn.
So I got pretty drunk. And then we went to the Emmys party, and then we went back and started drinking somewhere else. And we were at like the Four Seasons or some like really fancy hotel, and we were at the top of it. And I was just like so loaded that I didn't even know where we were staying. Like I didn't know where my hotel was. I was just like, somebody's going to take me back to my hotel, I hope. But I had to leave. I was like, I want to leave this party. So I went downstairs to get a car to go to the hotel I didn't know. And I'm at the valet stand. So there's like valets at this hotel, and they're like, where do you need to go? And I was like, I'm not really sure. And so then I sat down like on the patio and fell asleep. And they're like, ma'am, you can't sleep on the patio of the Four Seasons. And I'm in like a ball gown. Like, what an asshole. And then I stand up. Like, they wake me up. They're like, you got to get out of here. Like, they were like shooing me away. I was like, I don't know where to go. So I walk up and I start walking around and I'm like just pretty drunk and just realize that I'm going to be sick. And so I walk over to the valet stand. There's nobody there. And I just like silently like barf behind the
silently. Nice.
Feel better,
oh my God, that's the kind of shit that happens at those things. And then finally my friends came down and they were like, we'll take care of her. And they took me back to the hotel I was staying at. So that's what free booze will do for you.
Hell yeah.
You should have told security guard, you know who I am? I was an A-lister at the Technical Emmy.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we get this all the time, lady. Get out of here.
Sure, bro.
I can picture that guy filling out a report. Yeah, there was a lady.
Oh my God.
4 Seasons. Here, just shut up.
We got a shout out, bro. David Ortiz, Alex 781, and Cristobal Mitchell. Happy birthday, Nick Gers in Houston. Shout out to Nick Gers. Also, happy birthday to Martin Rizzo right here. Turns 35.
35? What the
you had it 2 years, eh?
Yeah. You're making me look older, bro. 33.
33. Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, dude.
This Friday, December 18th, Martin and I will be in Boise, Garden City, Idaho, at the Radisson Concert House.
Dogface, find them.
Concert House.
What did I say? Okay, I don't have my glasses.
Revolution.
Okay, erase that, eh?
You tell people in the hotel, dude.
Come on, James, we're the 40-second delay. Okay. This Friday, December 18th, Martin Rizzo and I will be in Boise, Garden City, Idaho, at the Revolution Concert House.
Yes.
Oh no! You just gave away the hotel.
Anybody?
And the room number.
Yeah.
That's when I was reading it. Wow, this movie is really not selling tickets. We're gonna do it in the lobby now.
We're gonna pass out in the lobby too, like Amber.
Amber, have you been working since the pandemic? Because I did a voiceover, and let me tell you how it was.
How was it?
I had to take a COVID test first to get there, and I was in my own little studio with no one.
Yeah.
Like, there was nobody. There was only one guy, and he was in another room, and the main characters were at their house.
Yeah. It's weird, especially being like a comedian that's in front of people and used to having an audience and used to like working off of people. Like then you're all by yourself, and it's like, how do I work in this condition? Yeah, we had actually stopped making season 11 right at the very beginning of the shutdown. And actually, my executive producer, the one I told you, gave me a headbutt. He's a real jokester. Like he's always screwing around. And so like they had just said there was going to be a shutdown. So it was like that Monday or something. And I had just flown back from LA. And so everybody was like kind of freaked out. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't go. I was just at an airport. I was just on a plane. Like, and then like Lucky, who plays Dr. Krieger, was like, I can't come. I have a fever. And we're all just like, oh shit, like shit's getting crazy. And we only had one episode, the last episode to record. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go in. And they said that they're going to be safe. And so we all get there and we're in the parking lot waiting to go in. And we were all kind of waiting in our cars and like kind of weirded out. And so it's like 10 o'clock. So we all like kind of get out of our cars and start walking towards the door. And Matt, our executive producer, he just kind of looks at all of us and we're all kind of walking towards him. And he just goes, and just barfs. And we're like,
damn.
What? Like it was very frightening. We were like, what is going on? But he just had like a mouthful of coffee and was just like trying to terrify us. Like, dude, this is the last thing you should be doing. Like we're all on edge. We're afraid we're gonna die, and you're like pretending to barf on us.
Man, I first thought that's not cool, but then I remember that I did the same thing when I walked into my acting class.
Yeah.
And my acting class shares a studio with a Pilates class, and they had just wiped all the Pilates and wiped the whole acting room. And I walked in coughing. Not only that, and they thought I added this to it, but no, I tripped over a backpack there and I spilled my coffee on the floor.
Hilarious.
That's funny, dude.
She goes, "Are you all right? All right." She goes, "Oh, you scared of us? Why? Because we had just wiped everything in here." So I haven't been back since. I've been doing Zoom acting classes with her. Did you take a voiceover class, or is something you learned on your own?
I just learned it on the job. Like I got a couple of jobs doing like radio spots, and I kind of just like learned a little bit doing that. And I had friends that worked at the theater I work at that also worked at ad agencies during the day. And so they got me the work. And I remember like being in a booth and just kind of like reading my lines. And I got the best note ever. And it was my friend Mike. And he was like, "You need to move around in there. Like we can hear you standing like, bah, 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 like saying your lines. He's like, move around. Like, don't be afraid to like, all that you use on stage. Like you got to figure out how to get all that energy to come out just through your voice, which isn't easy to do. So you got to move around in there." And so yeah, I just kind of learned on the job. And then I got that job for Adult Swim. And then that's how, because I was an improviser, I'd done character voices and played characters and was like used to making people sound different. And so I'd done a little bit of that, but like I was totally untrained when I started.
That's very
Give
cool.
it one of your radio ones.
What was that?
What did you advertise when you were on radio? What were the one of the things?
One of the things was a
you were
place
one of those
called,
voices.
One of the things was a commercial for a place called Monkey Joe's, which is like a place where kids go and like monkey around, like play in ball pits or something. I don't know. But the great thing was they didn't have an announcer voice, but at the time they were like, "We don't want announcer voices. We just want every person voices." So I was just like, it was just me being like, "Come to Monkey Joe's and monkey around."
Hilarious.
Yeah.
So it's like a trampoline park, I would assume then.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like there's all kinds of like crazy shit like that, which I don't know if you've ever been to one of those things, but it is like serious cardio.
Yeah,
You're like, holy shit.
Drenching in sweat, dude. Yeah.
I don't know where we went. It might be West Nyack, New York. They have, I don't know if it's called the same monkey, but at the mall, the whole mall, this part of the section is built like a jungle gym made out of like wood and rope, and adults and kids can climb on it.
Yeah, like a ropes course, maybe.
Yes, but it's not like, it's not real. It's not an obstacle course. I think it'll be real easy. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, Rodrigo?
Yeah, well, they had those. It was right there in Nyack, and they had them at a couple of malls like that. Mall of America has one. Just that little section. It has a small ball pit. It has that little climbing net. It has that little, almost like a mini obstacle course. But then when you go to somewhere like Sky Zone, they have the big old ball pits. They have the trampolines. They have the sectionalized trampolines, the sidewall trampolines. It gets crazy. It's cool.
They dodgeball too on the trampoline. That's badass.
Yeah,
dude.
with that big old dodgeball, dude.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Dude, I can't go to those places no more because I'm too old. I just think about everything's gonna go bad. Like I'm gonna bump into somebody's head and crack my head open.
Yeah.
I'm gonna land and twist my ankle. That's the worst. What happened, bro? I twisted my ankle, and then I just kept twisting it, landing it over, and I just laid there faking it, and people kept jumping over me.
That's if you already think you're gonna get hurt, yeah, you shouldn't even creep.
What's up, fool? We got Amber Nash here on the show, people.
Oh yeah.
Rodrigo, give her some of your voices, bro.
Let's hear them.
He does the best. He does the best James Gandolfini and Trump.
How you doing, Amber? How you doing?
Oh.
You doing all right? Over there in Atlanta. Nice to hear your voice and your face. All that stuff. With all the guys in the lumberjack above you.
That's great. And not a lot of people have a James Gandolfini, so it's like it's a great one to do.
so it works good like on the East Coast in Florida where there's like a lot of older Italians and stuff.
Yeah.
But it actually worked real good in Texas. But it was funny. Some guy told me, he's like, "Man, too bad he's dead." I was like, "This motherfucker."
Oh no.
Also, people in Fort Myers, like with like
Italians. It was all Frank Del Pizzo's family.
A lot of guys with chains, bro, like that.
the open shirt. Do you mess with impressions at all?
No, I'm terrible at it. Yeah, and I only do like I think I do character voices, but at the end of the day, everybody's like, you just sound the same. It's like John Benjamin. Like that guy does one voice and it's great, but that's all he does. And it's, I mean, but yeah,
They're
there's so
killing
many
it.
voice actors that are like really good at doing character voices and impersonations, and I'm just not good at it.
Yeah,
Like from The Simpsons, everybody there is so good at like making different voices.
Totally.
one of my favorites is homeboy from Futurama.
The black guy, Phil Lamar.
No, what's his name? Billy West.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, phenomenal dude.
Yeah.
How when they came up with your character,
Mhm.
how much input did they give you, and how much did you bring to the character?
In the beginning, like when they introduced Pam, I went back and read the pilot episode, and it says Pam, the mousy director of HR, and it's like now it would be like mousy, like there's
Mousy,
nothing
no
about
way.
Pam that's mousy. But in the beginning, I think she was just there to be like the butt of the joke. They just needed like a punchline person. And so the first season, Pam's kind of a boring character. And then in the second season is when she really like comes to life. And I think it was because Adam, who was the creator, he also wrote all the first 10 seasons, was like, I need somebody to do this. Well, we'll just give it to Pam. I need somebody to do this. We'll just give it to Pam. And then she like kept getting like cooler and cooler. And I think he was getting to know us all better as actors. So he was like, well, Amber can handle this, or I'll give Amber this. And so I'd like to think that I helped like create the character and make her awesome. But also the writing's just so good. And she always gets the best, dirtiest, most horrifying jokes. So that's super fun too.
Hey, I went to look up all your famous quotes from the character, and there's a big list. Like there should be like if we were like in the 80s, there would have been 5 books written already. Yeah, there's like user like I looked it up, quotable lines from Pam from Usher, and like there's a lot of them. Like there's memes.
Yeah, it's crazy, and like people will say stuff and they'll be like, "You remember this?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know. I don't remember any of that." Like
hardcore fans.
So, it's crazy.
Yeah, come on, Amber.
Yes.
Episode 108. Talk to me.
I don't know. I don't know what that was.
What was the temperature outside? Because I noticed your voice cracking a little bit.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, I don't remember shit from first season. I don't remember any of it. Like, Lucky, who I mentioned earlier, is like really good. He knows everything. He remembers everything. And I'm like, I don't know. By the time I record it and then I watch it, I'm like, oh, cool. Look at what happened. And people are like, you did that. I was like, I don't remember any of it.
I just went to work.
Hilarious. That's so funny.
That's crazy. The guy wanted to tattoo of the arm like that. That's like creepy.
I know, gross. Isn't that gross?
I was in Las Vegas and there was a drunk girl, big fan. And then she said, sign my arm. And I had a Sharpie and I signed it. And like a month, I don't know, a month later, 3 days later, got it tattooed.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had a guy do that too.
Youngster too, man. You thought about that.
Yeah. Yeah, a guy did that to me, or he told me he was going to get a tattoo. Oh, yeah, and I think he did. He posted it on Instagram later, and I was like, oh, shit, I wish I'd done a better job. Like, I did kind of a shitty autograph on his arm.
Oh, yes.
Let me retry it again. Come back.
You did it real fast. I like, get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever.
Graham.
That's funny. Hey, remember that guy that
Go ahead.
The guy that wanted to buy that your T-shirt from you, the one you were wearing, remember?
Oh my God, man, that was creepy too. We did a show, Amber, in San Antonio, Texas. It was COVID, restricted. They checked everybody's temperature on the way in, except the comedians, and everybody had wear masks to go to the bathroom when they're not drinking, And we were in the T-shirts. And this guy told Felipe Esparza, I'll give him $100 for the T-shirt he's wearing. What? It's all sweaty. And he goes, and I said, all right, bro. And I signed it. Just tell him, just give me 20 for it, eh? And then like the guy left, but he was badgering you, right?
Yeah, totally. He was all up on you.
Yeah.
What he was saying?
No, he was really excited about it inside of the show, but then when Edwin went outside to go look for it and give it to him, he disappeared. I think he wanted a secret meeting and greet. Like you use that to like talk to you or see you. But it didn't happen, Doc.
Yeah, we did 8 shows
in 3 days.
In 3 days.
Oh my God.
Sold out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. That's
We don't know where they came from, but thank you very much for showing up.
And
Also, man, I got a couple of dates that I'm surprised that we got dates coming in January. Dun, 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 dun. Phoenix, Arizona. That's right. Stand Up Live. Check the dates on FelipeWorld.com. Alexandria, Virginia, if that's near DC, and Falls Church, Virginia, near that area. Also, get ready, y'all. Rodrigo, you want to announce Omaha?
Y'all ready to visit the town of the only repatriated West Coast Midwest blood, Omaha, Nebraska, home of the Huskers. But I don't know the rest of the.
At the end of January, I'm going to Omaha, Nebraska, people. Omaha, Nebraska. And first time, because the first time I went there, they told me I was going to Omaha, Nebraska. And then I got into a van and I went to Council Bluff, Iowa to do a show in a casino, the Riverboat Casino. And I was like, wait a minute, man. I thought you guys were booking me in Omaha. Yeah, but the show that Council Bluff, Iowa. Okay. Casinos are illegal in Omaha. So
wow.
I went to Council Bluff, Iowa, and the way they do it there is they have a big, huge steamboat, whatever it is, like from Huckleberry Finn, dude. And there's a big ramp, and you cross the water, and the water is 6 feet from there's land, and the water, and the building is 6 feet away. So you cross that bridge, and once you're across the bridge, gambling is legal. No gambling on that land, but some gangster figured out a long time ago, how about the river?
It was a loophole.
Yeah, so we did a show there, dude. It was good.
My family, my dad's from Missouri, and when I was a kid, I would go to St. Louis all the time. And my favorite thing was that there was a paddle boat, like a riverboat McDonald's, and I would always be like, "Please take me to the riverboat McDonald's." And then I have a friend now that like grew up there because I haven't been there since I was a kid. And I was like, "What about the riverboat McDonald's? Is it still there?" And she's like, "Oh my God, no!" And I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "It was so full of rats that they had to shut it down." So like apparently all those riverboats that are like food establishments, it's like they're full of rats.
How do they hop on the boat?
You remember?
Swim.
You remember, Felipe, when we went to Laughlin? They had the same issue over there.
Oh,
on those little casinos that are right there by the river.
Yeah.
There's mad rats at night just macking on all their garbage.
That probably makes sense because they can't hop off the boat, so they just keep making babies on the boat, you know?
And they jump in the water and swim away.
Yeah.
They could swim?
Yes, dude.
Yes.
Rats are crazy, bro.
For the little rat, the little turtle propeller rate.
Yeah, it's not a paddle boat at all. It's just rat powered.
You know, when she was telling that story, that sounds cool, man. I'm gonna do that. Then it's in the rat now.
But all that whole section got torn down right there in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, which is so sad. I mean, I guess it was. I liked it when I was a kid. I don't know if I'd love it now.
Yeah, it was all like from the roaring 20s, right? All that era.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
I see that you work with chimps.
Yeah, well, I don't work with them, but I am a part of an organization that works with them. There's a place in North Georgia called Project Chimps, and it's a chimp sanctuary. So it's where chimps that have been used in research go to retire, because it's now illegal in the United States to do research on chimps, which is great, thank God, because they're amazing animals. And so,
the law, man.
Yeah, it's a sanctuary there's 78. I think almost 80 chimps there right now, and there's still 200 in a lab that are waiting to come, but they can only come like 10 at a time because they have to quarantine and they have to integrate into the like family unit there. It's a really amazing, awesome place. And it's in the mountains, and the chimps like have this like habitat that's like acres big, so they can be outside. And most of these chimps have never been, they've never been on grass. They've only lived in labs. They've never been outside. And so when they get there, usually they'll have a quarantine period just to make sure that they're okay. They don't have any diseases that they're going to let the other chimps have. And then they let them outside for the first time. And like watching that happen is just like tears. It's really an amazing, amazing place.
Oh man, I saw this sad on a video, but it was a happy video. It was man, it was these two chimps, man, and all they knew each other was from the cage.
Yeah.
Like that's it, like from a glass. That's all they knew from each other.
Yeah.
Oh man. When they saw each other, I'm so sad. When they saw each other outside, biggest hug, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. They're amazingly like affectionate, and they when one of them is scared in their group, they will hug each other to like make them know it's safe and they can come outside, and like they're so smart, and it's just it's amazing.
Crazy, man. I met a woman. Are you vegan?
I am.
Me too.
Cool.
Yeah. That's funny you say that because our soup was all vegan, by the way.
I know. When you were talking about it, I was like, oh, that sounds
yeah, man. We found a woman that makes that soup. She makes it with chicken broth and regular cheese.
Mm-hmm.
We figured it out that it was just 3 potatoes and 4 peppers, long peppers fried, and with a regular broth, and then you put them in you put it in a stew with potatoes, and then the best part when you the way that it's only gonna work is you gotta freeze the vegan mozzarella, so when you put it in a soup, it won't melt right away.
Oh,
then
that's smart.
So when you put it in with the potatoes in a soup, you still could chew it a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
Nyoko's fresh mozzarella.
Okay, cheese. I feel like vegan cheese is the hardest one. So like when you find somebody that knows a good one, you're like, that's the one.
Yeah, it's like buffalo
Yeah.
mozzarella,
It's like buffalo mozzarella, real tough.
Ooh. What's it called again?
Miyoko with an M-Y.
Oh yeah. Yep, I know it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the toughest because Rodrigo is not vegan, but he hates Daya cheese.
It doesn't really mend with my palate. It really.
Yeah.
Mine
It's not
is
the best one.
Little advertiser. This is not a commercial, but I like follow your heart. Yeah, man. So you're in Georgia now?
Yep, that's where I'm from, and I've been able to stay here and keep working. I kept always thinking I was going to move to LA, and I just kept working here, and I was like, well, shit, it's cheaper here to live and buy a house, so screw it.
So all this time you've been working at Archer in Georgia, not in LA?
Yeah, and they actually make the show here in Atlanta.
Awesome. You know what? That's crazy because we were talking about Tyler Perry a month ago.
Yeah.
We met people. We had an actor that works with Tyler Perry. He said that Tyler Perry has a humongous studio now there.
It's incredible.
A town.
Yeah.
It's like a
awesome.
city, yeah.
And he's building his own fake freeway in there to film freeway scenes.
Yeah, because it was like an army base. It was a military base of some sort, and so there's all these houses on it that were like military housing. So there's like barracks. There's a full like White House that like a White House mock-up, and there's all these old houses that were like I don't know, like sergeants' houses and stuff. So there's all this incredible stuff, and like everything. Tyler Perry is incredible, and the great thing about him that I think is so rad is he's like so serious about hiring local people, because so many things come to Atlanta to shoot and they bring everybody in, all the talent, all the crew, and he's like really serious about hiring people of color in Atlanta to work on his projects, and it's so rad. Like he's like what Atlanta's all about. I love Tyler Perry. I've never worked for him though.
Yeah,
so cool.
Atlanta, man, Georgia has different laws, man, from California.
Yeah.
Like we were hanging out one thing that was surprising to me was when Lisa and I went to Atlanta to do a show at the Punchline, the original Punchline. Right across the street, there was a 24-hour babysitter.
Whoa!
A 24-hour daycare, bro.
Wow.
No, for kids.
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
Strippers.
For women that want a club, baby.
Like, if
Yeah.
you want to go work late at night, you need a kid, you just drop them off, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're like a nurse or, people that are like bus drivers, like people have crazy schedules. But yeah, it's also very jarring to see a 24-hour babysitter.
I know, man. Because so many weirdos take those jobs. Or like people like late shift people. I don't know, man. My whole life was graveyard, so I know the type of people that work graveyard, and those people do not belong in the daytime.
Night owls.
What's up, Food Podcast? We have Amber Nash from Archer, people. So, what's your future plans after? What you got going next?
So the next big thing is this was supposed to happen this year, but then the pandemic happened, so it got put on hold. But my husband and I work together, and he was the artistic director of the theater I work at for 10 years. But now he's stopped doing that and is moving into writing and producing. And he wrote a holiday movie that we're shooting. It'll be myself. I'm playing the lead, and then my dad is being played by Colin Mockery, the great Colin Mockery, and it's like a Christmas movie. It's kind of like Little Miss Sunshine meets like Bad Santa. It's very like it's raunchy, but it's funny and sweet and heartfelt. And I'm like a struggling comedian that goes home for Christmas and everything sucks. And like it does. So yeah, we're excited to shoot it. We're going to shoot it this coming up year in 2021.
That's fantastic.
That's funny, man.
Oh,
Comedians are the only people that go back to the parent house for Thanksgiving with fucking two suitcases full of dirty clothing.
Totally.
that's funny, dude.
I would jump up when I was like not the comedian living by myself. I didn't have a washer and dryer, dude.
No.
I would go to my mom's house and just dump it in there, bro. And I didn't even wash it. I did wash it. I put all my stuff in there, bro, and pack it up and leave.
Man, I didn't have a washer and dryer for the longest time. And so I came up with some really great like hacks on how to here's the greatest hack ever. So if you don't have a washer and dryer, but you got some pants, but you've been wearing those pants for a while, so they're like all bagged down, they don't fit right anymore. You just spray that shit down with like some Febreze or even like a water bottle. And then you take your hair dryer and you turn it on and put it in one leg for like 10 minutes and then put it in the other leg. And it's like, they're like brand new.
Whoa.
They harden, huh?
Too. It's really good on the road if you got like a pair of pants you like, but like you can't. Sometimes you don't want to wash jeans, man. It screws them up.
So
I'm
true,
going to
though.
my washer and dryer now. Thank you.
Changes the mold.
Rodrigo, man, because he farts all day.
The only fart in America. Nobody else farts.
Yeah, man.
But it's true. Like you shouldn't wash. I think you're not supposed to wash your jeans that often. You know,
It messes up how they feel and look.
Yeah.
And then you have to start
jeans
over
are
with
like,
another.
Like a cast iron skillet. Like you gotta like season that shit.
Yeah, you got to mold it like into your your body, how it fits on your leg.
For a couple days. Yeah.
I took those 501 jeans on the road. You know the ones that I think that might be shrink to fit.
Uh-huh.
So they're like hard when I put them on. But right now, man, my big old legs. I've been wearing them for 3 days straight. They feel like sweats now.
That's how Dickies are in the beginning. They're all like starchy, bro. You know.
I know, man. I see Vinny wearing Dickies. Is he wearing sweats? So I gotta put a bunch of starch and a blow dryer to get them all hardened.
Mm-hmm.
What, hard jeans?
I don't want my jeans to feel like sweats.
No, but you don't. What?
Thanks
I
for
want my hands to stand up.
They walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How long did it take your husband to write this Christmas movie, and how did he come up with the idea?
So we did a short film called That Was Awesome.
That was awesome.
And it's about I played a coach for a hockey team of adults with special needs. And so they're like kind of fighting for the rights to this gym, and they're like fighting, like they're playing hockey. They're a floor hockey team and they're playing against like these bullies. And my husband grew up with a brother with special needs, so it was like really kind of like a passion project for him. And we met this actor with special needs that played the lead in the short film that we made. His name's Luke, and he's just such an incredible actor. And so we were like, we got to work with that guy again. So Kevin, my husband, wrote this film thinking of Luke. So Luke plays my brother in the film. And he's like, he was born on Christmas Eve, my husband was, and so he's like, Christmas movies are just kind of like perfect. He's a Christmas man. So between those two things, that's how he came up with the idea for the script. And I don't think it took him that long. He's a pretty like fast writer, but he's been kind of tweaking it over time. And because we couldn't make it, we were supposed to be shooting now, and because we couldn't do that, he's been kind of like, having people read it and going back and doing different drafts. And so he's really been kind of massaging the script a little bit.
Do you enjoy like performing on stage or improv or your voiceover?
Oh my God. I think that, voiceover work is the best because like, I don't have to do hair and makeup. I don't have to brush my teeth. I can wear my pajamas. Like, it doesn't matter.
Oh, wow. Pajamas,
it doesn't take any time.
I do work in my pajamas.
Work in your pajamas, that's my wife's dream.
It's so great. And like when we do Archer, so if we're doing like 8 episodes a season, I will go in and work for 45 minutes per episode once every 3 weeks.
Oh,
so it's like, what is that? That's not even a job. It's like, I don't even have to work. We do like appearances and stuff, but like, it's a really short amount of time. So that's what's great about doing voice work. But I think my favorite is still being in front of an audience, like getting that feedback. And like, there's just nothing like it. It's just like, you're with those people and I get fed by the audience, I think it's so awesome.
You're fast and like always, like I know I do stand up. I've always done stand up. I could talk to the audience and come up with funny jokes about their coats, about their life, or I could make up a character about what I think their life is, and it gets a laugh. But I always found it hard to go up there and with somebody throwing me words and like I get so nervous. I get nervous about that. Do you, man? Can you do that, Rizzo? And somebody goes, be a carpenter who has dyslexia.
I don't think you can go that far with it. Like I know people like that, like, but like I always think of like Michael Scott when I think of improv,
What's the don'ts about improv and working with a group? And like just say we're doing 3 people, you and 2 other people, and you're trying to get the story going. What's a don't? Because I know, like, this is coming from every stand-up comedian. We want to throw the funniest line and end that shit.
Yeah.
But you got to keep it going, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing I think that's different between like stand-up and improv is that it's like it's such a team sport, right? So you're there to make your partner look good. So if you're just always thinking about how you're going to get the funny out, then it doesn't work with the teamwork. But that doesn't mean that you don't. Sometimes you get the funny out, and sometimes people are like, it works and it's perfect. But it's all about working together to find that like magic, and like stand up for me, I'm like, that would be terrifying. I can't imagine doing it, being on stage by myself and bombing. Like if you're doing improv, at least you have somebody to save you. I can't imagine doing stand up. It's such a different, I think that like we're all comedians, but there's just 2 different types of, performers, improvisers versus stand-ups.
Different little skills.
Man, speaking of improv, man, I gotta tell you about this fucking crazy improv show that Lisa hates. I don't got it on my phone right now because I don't have Netflix on my phone. But dude, I don't know where they're from.
That's not an improv show.
What is it?
You mean that Australian show?
It's an Australian show, man. What's it called?
What?
I remember the name of it.
There's these guys, bro. And man, this show is it feels like an improv show gone nuts. And I still have not laughed, but I find myself watching it like glued. It's like they hypnotize me, bro.
What is it that's sucking you in?
I don't know, man, because they're good. They're good. They're committed to what they're doing. And I want to see it too. I want to see it go well.
You gotta commit.
At the end of the line, at the end of the sketch, I still don't get it. I don't get it.
No.
But it's funny, dude, because it's okay.
Australia?
I'll tell you one sketch that they do. The guy going like this. Anything's a drum. Anything's a drum. Then the other guy gets a little bottle. Anything's a drum. These are adults, bro. They're like in their late 30s. Anything's a drum. And they keep doing this fucking sketch keep going on forever, bro. Anything's a drum. Anything's a drum. And finally gets to some weirdo dude with long hair who look like comedian Carlos Oscar. His shit's not working, bro. There's no drum, and the music stops. There's no drum. There's no drum, right? And everybody's getting depressed, all sad, very depressed. Like, fuck him, there's no drum on his drum. And then that guy said, when I moved in here 9 years ago, you promised everything was gonna be a drum. You said everything's gonna sound like a drum. And then there's no drum. And then everybody's arguing. There's no drum. And then finally the guy goes, oh, it's back. Everything's a drum. And they keep going and the fucking sketch ends.
It's called Big Old House of Fun sketch show.
Big Old House of Fun sketch show.
Sounds terrible.
They tortured terrorists with that. Oh my god, bro.
Very artsy, dude, or like very you know?
Amber, my wife said you're right. But Amber, all these sketches are like that. Every sketch is like that.
They're absurd.
I want to check it out now.
Like there is no like I know I watch a lot of sketches, you know, in the end, you know, SNL, but this everything's a drum one had no. It just ended with a guy his drum going back, but they make these weird faces, and yeah, bro, I don't know, man, but I'm gonna watch the third episode.
Now I want to watch it too.
But Amber, if you watch this, like, man, you could tweet me back or let me know what you think, because I want to hear what you think. Because whoa, Lisa hates it.
I don't think I'm gonna watch that. I think I already hate it.
Okay, it's like remember Kids in the Hall? How badass they were, right? They were funny. Imagine them meeting up with Eric Andre from the Eric Andre show, and then taking a bunch of acid and mushrooms, and then someone at Montreal Comedy Festival going, you know what? I've been up on coke for 9 days. This is the best shit I've seen.
And they buy the show.
And they buy the show, but you know what? But you know, I don't know how they do it in Australia, in New Zealand. You know, they're their type of comedy. But whoa, bro, everything's a drum. She hates when I do that.
I want to check it out now. You sold it to me, dude.
Forget
You gotta check it out, man. I don't know, man.
Auntie Donna's Big Old House of Fun.
Auntie what?
Auntie Donna's.
Auntie's Donna's Big Old House of Fun.
It's Australian.
It's Australian. Because, dude, when I started watching it, I thought it was going to be like, okay, it might be like a kid's show, you know, with music, you know. But it wasn't, man. It was just, I don't know, man.
Very strange.
Very strange. That's the weirdest show, bro. But let's get back to Archer, bro. That's the show I understand.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Archer. What attracted me to this show was when I was a kid, I used to open up the LA Times, and there was an adult cartoon. There was a regular cartoon. There was a Circle, Family Circle. There was Doonesbury, but there was one that was drawn similar to Archer that I used to like, and there was more adult theme. I think his name was Ken Brett or something. He was like, I don't know. He was like a single man or a detective. I don't know what he was, but it was drawn like that, kind of like the way Archer's drawn. He's the black line around him is thicker.
Yeah.
Like the doctor one, Rex MD or something.
Rex MD.
Yeah.
Rex MD comic book. Everybody seen it?
It was like a comic strip. Yeah.
Rex MD comic strip. That's what Archer attracted me to Archer, because I thought, like when I would read Rex or MD, and like, who is this cartoon for? It ain't for me. How many wines have we had already, Amber?
How many wines?
How many bottles of wine? How many? Sorry.
Not even one
glasses?
whole bottle yet. I was thinking about having my husband. I was going to text my husband and tell him to bring me more wine.
Yeah. Are when you do the lines, are some of them kind of improvised when you guys read?
Yeah, so a lot of times we'll always do what's written just in case, but then so usually I'll do okay, so it's written and I'll read it 3 different ways just to be like this or kind of get a feeling and they'll be like, okay, do that one, do that a few more times. But then a lot of times they'll be like, make it more like do it your own way, see how it goes. But it's not a lot of times it's not too improvised because it's so well written, but when they'll be like, because it's an action show, there's a lot of like everybody lines where it's like people are reacting to like a gunshot or they're pushing a car or like they're running from bad guys or whatever. So there's a lot of improvisation that happens there. And those can be like some of the fun stuff too, where people are just like, you know, just like a little quick line that gets kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, ready?
Yeah, man.
Oh no.
It's so much fun when everything's a drum.
Hey, stop. This is not in the food.
Everything's a drum. Everything's a drum.
Amber left. Amber left.
Oh no.
Horrible.
It's like their style of improv or their style of sketch is that they want you to hate them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Kind of like Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Anti-comedy.
Norm Macdonald says sometimes when he really headlines, like he does those jokes that people are walking out.
He tries to bomb.
He tries to bomb, but
Yeah.
he's killing. But you know, Norm tries to bomb, but he's killing it. I don't know what they're doing, but man, I gotta get more into it. What do you think, Martin? No?
Well, the show,
We should do it. Everything's an accordion.
yeah. I'm gonna check it out just to see what's up. You know, I like weird comedy like that.
I don't think it's comedy. Amber? Comedy? No?
Anti-comedy.
No, I'm a crowd pleaser, man.
Call filler, man.
Come on, man. Everything's a drum.
Everything's
Wow, man. What's up, James? What you got planned for Christmas?
We're staying local, bro. We're not doing shit.
Amber, you're not going anywhere, right?
No, my family actually lives here and it's nice enough in Atlanta that if it doesn't rain, then we're gonna probably eat outside. So my parents are gonna come over, and my sister and my niece. And I just got a camper trailer
Nice.
parked in my backyard. So my sister and my niece might spend the night and then we do Christmas morning. So yeah. But yeah, we're all staying away from each other because, you know, shit's scary.
Yeah, man.
You have worked with Second City? How did you have worked with Second City?
Yeah, I did. So they came
In
to
Chicago
Atlanta.
or what city?
What's that?
What city?
In Atlanta.
Oh.
They came to Atlanta to do a couple shows year after year. And so they were auditioning Atlanta actors for their show. So they'd bring some Chicago people in and then Atlanta actors would kind of fill out the cast. So I did a show for them in Atlanta, and then they were doing cruise ship shows. So they were looking for people to fill their cruise ships because they had like tons of cruise ships out at all times. And as a gigging actor, it was like, sweet, I get to go live on a cruise ship and do comedy 2 times a week. And then the rest of the time just eat like buffet food. That sounds great. Yeah. So then I did a cruise ship show for them, and it was weird, man. Living on a cruise ship is fucking weird. And there's people
no
like,
cell phones?
What's that?
No cell phones?
Not really. So like when you're like seriously out in the ocean, no. And like internet costs a ton of money. So like if you're an actor that's trying to cobble together enough money to live, you don't want to spend all the money you're making on like internet, right? So you're trying to keep it at like, so you're really disconnected. There's no cell phones, there's very little internet. But then when you get to port, like when you're in a big city, you know, all that changes and you can get internet and cell phones. But yeah, it's weird. And there's people like the people that are like staff, like people that work in the kitchen and like that work on the ship, like making the ship run. They are on these ships for like 9 months out of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, so they don't really have homes, you know, like they'll go home, stay with a friend or something for a couple months and then just go back to living on the ocean. It's crazy.
What was it like to do, we spoke to some stand-up about cruise ship. What's it like to Do you run into the same people from the show?
When you're on the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, like for
The
us,
audience.
yeah, for us, we would do like, because a lot of the crew has to stay like in crew areas, but the entertainers, particularly the second set of entertainers, had like passenger status, which means that you get to eat in the passenger areas and you can just kind of like act like a passenger. So the first 2 days that people are on the ship, they don't know who you are. They just think you're a passenger. But then your big show happens on Wednesday night, and the rest of the week, people are like, you did that
Oh, that's what I hate.
on that show, and you can't get away from them because you're stuck on a fucking ship with them. So it's kind of crazy. You're like a little bit of a celebrity when you're on the ship.
That's crazy because I saw a picture of a comic that we know, and he was, again, I don't know, he was, he don't post too many photos, and he will post you one photo, and I believe that was a photo to let us know what his week, what he goes through, because he's funny. And he was on top of one of those stairs that you go down to the, I guess, on a boat, and he's there taking a photo, and he with like the whole family, grandpa, great grandpa, mom, dad, nieces, uncles, and he's like, they're like the only one that's not white. But he goes, yeah, man, that sounds crazy. But I didn't know that the crew doesn't get to go everywhere either.
No, yeah. And the other crazy thing is there's the crew bar, which is the craziest place on a ship. And every ship has a morgue because if somebody dies when they're underway, they've got to have a place to put the bodies.
You don't throw it overboard?
Yeah, no, they don't throw it overboard. And so the morgue and the crew bar is like, the crew bar's in the belly of the ship. And so most of the people that go to the crew bar when they're on their day off, but they can't be up on the top of the ship with the regular passengers. So there's no windows. It's in the middle of the ship. Everybody's smoking like 100 cigarettes at a time. It's this tiny little area. And there's like, you know, these Russian dudes that like, they're the guys that like throw the like big ropes out when they like get to the port. And he's like walking around on his hands because he's like got a lot of upper body strength. Like it's like being in the bar from Star Wars when they get to that planet. And you're just like, what the fuck is this place? Like, that's what the crew bar is like on a cruise ship.
Play the same song. It's funny, man. That's a whole show right there, Amber.
Yeah.
The bottom of the crew bar. Where did you find the we were looking for a helicopter driver. Oh, you better go down to the crew of the boat.
Yeah. And like beers are like $1. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
Are the crew people allowed to see the sun and go out?
I guess they have to let them see the sun. I think it'd be bad for their health if they didn't. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
What was your I always like knowing, but what was your where were you staying at? Did you have a suite, or you were at the bottom of the boat?
No, so we were in the bottom of the boat, but we were in the crew area where we stayed, but we had windows, and not all the crew places have windows. And so I was with like another castmate, and it was literally like I didn't know her before the tour started. And so we're in a room the size of like a bathroom, and we're both sleeping in there, and we're living together for like a month. And when I first started my tour, and I was like so desperate for work because I was just like a gigging actor, and they're like, "You want this job?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I didn't tell them that I get really motion sick. And so I get on the ship, and I like had all the medicines and the patches and the things, and I was like, I gotta just do it because I gotta have this job. And the first night, the cast had already been on the ship for a while, so like, let us show you around. Let's get a drink. So I'm on the ship. We're underway. I have a couple drinks at the bar, and I'm eating like some snack mix, like some bar snack mix. And then I was like, "Hey guys, give me a second." And I like stumble to the bathroom, and I'm so nauseous. And I open the door to the bathroom, and there's like a full-length mirror for like women to look at themselves. And I just like projectile vomit onto the mirror because I was so sick. And so there's just like vomit like dripping down the mirror. Kevin, thank you so much. This is my husband, Kevin.
Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? Just listening to the old vomit story, huh?
Yes.
What's up, dude? Arr.
You've heard it 100 times.
Hilarious.
No problem. All right. Party on, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
That fool came he gave me from hitting a fat ass bowl, bro.
That was a heavy pour.
The only pores we know.
That's right.
Wow, that's when you said you had a window, so when you opened the window, what'd you see? Ocean?
Yeah, like it was just a little porthole window too. So
I
it's just
can't
like,
see that,
and
man.
we were low down on the ship, so we were just right above the water line.
Can you be down there, Rodrigo?
Hell yeah, dude. When I went fishing for tuna, I was down below in a boat. And but you know, they're obviously smaller than a big old ship that you're on. You can just hear the water smacking. It's pretty brutal, but it's cool. I like the feeling of the ocean and the sea.
Did you get sick?
I didn't, but there was 2 people that were sick the whole time for a day and a half. It was very brutal. They were on their knees the whole time. I was like, I felt so bad, but I got to catch some fish, man.
That boat, right? It's so big that when they
enormous,
you don't feel nothing, right?
No, I mean
that stabilizer, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But you do hit some big old swells where you do get rocked, right? Like
yeah,
can't have that.
When you're like way out in the middle, like when you're really
it's brutal.
And then days when they know it's gonna be pretty rough, they'll go around and put out barf bags in all the hallways so that the passengers can just grab a barf bag.
Hell no.
And that's part of it. And I've never been on a big ship like that, but I've heard about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, give me some Toby on that throw-up bag, bro.
Oh, you can have this. Where's a helicopter? Pick me up and take me back to Nebraska.
You know, Amber, have you heard that story about the comedian that they went to go pick up from off the boat?
No.
Yeah, when I was working with Greg Giraldo, he had told me about a comedian that and I read it. It's a book called Comedy Road Story, written by comedian Richard or Rick something. But the legend goes that he's a Jewish comedian, went to perform on a cruise ship just like you, did an anti-Semitic joke, and he's Jewish. It works in New York, right? But didn't work in a boat. And and they told him, don't do that joke. Man, they said they sent a helicopter, landed, another comedian got off, and he got on.
He took him to boot camp, bro.
Even exchange.
Yeah, Brian Fogelman. Brian Fogel. And Greg Giraldo said that the rumor was that back then, if somebody like cancels your gig or you lose the gig, what happened? They fogled me.
Wow, there was a juggler that we like shared a wall with. He was like our next door neighbor. And you aren't supposed to smoke in your room, and he would just smoke constantly, and he just like kind of didn't follow the rules. And apparently we were like in some little port, and he got in trouble for drugs. And it was like a country where it's like, you don't want to go to jail here. And they just left without him. And so he was just like, because they were like, sorry, this guy's a felon. And they just left him in this little country, and he had to figure out how to get back. And then the next week there was a different guy, a different juggler living in his room.
Mark Pearson, I haven't seen him since.
Hey, whoa, what happened to that guy? That's crazy.
Yeah.
He wants to go a little dudes. He wants to smoke a little joint, probably.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy, man. I'm not going on a boat, bro.
Like you said, that's a TV show right there, you know?
Yeah, totally. Like boat living. And it's like the people that do that are just like the cruise director that's like in charge of like party time. It's like, that's a big job on the ship, and like they make a decent amount of money, and the kind of person and personality it takes to do that job. It's like, there's a bunch of characters, man, that you meet working on a ship.
I bet, dude.
Yeah.
I've seen a reality show, but it's not a cruise ship show. It's about a yacht you can rent out.
Oh yeah, like Life Below Deck. Is that what it is?
Life Below Deck.
Yeah.
That's the kind of show, bro, you watch when you're getting dressed to go to another place.
Yeah.
Like you turn it on and what? Okay, what? They're getting ready for the bikini party, and they're having drama. Wow, that's a lot of drama for a little boat. And now we're talking about the drama, and I bet there's a lot of hooking up, at these boats by employees.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Somebody else got fired because they were having sex with a passenger on one of the deck chairs. And there's cameras everywhere. So they totally got caught.
Do people give birth on the boat?
I bet it didn't happen while I was there, but like, yeah, if people are pregnant, I bet. And I heard this. So like when you're old and if you have to go into like assisted living or something, it's so expensive. So a lot of old people will just say, fuck it, and go live on a ship until they die because it's cheaper to live on a cruise ship than it is to live in assisted living.
Another hack.
Oh. What happened, bro? Oh man, they left him in Guantanamo Bay.
He died at sea.
That's a good one. There's a movie about a guy, about a kid. It's played by Eli Roth, I think, that British actor, where he was raised in a boat. Like they gave birth. Tim Roth. His mother worked on a boat, and they gave birth to him on a boat, and he was raised. His mom died, and he was raised by the people that work in the ship. Like he never got off the boat. Like people would just pass him around and raise him because they remember his mom. Along the way, he learned how to play the piano, bro. He never touched land. He became the piano player, bro, of the boat. Like real badass piano player, bro. And so, like, I won't tell the whole movie, but a famous piano player from New York shows up, and they have a piano duo, bro. That fool plays so bad, he lit the cigarette, bro, one of the piano keys.
Damn.
He played so fast that he put a cigarette on the piano key and lit it. On a piano string. Yeah. Yeah, so. Wow, man. So this is so interesting. There's some more. They got to be in jail too, right?
Yeah, there's a brig. Yeah.
A brig.
Yeah.
Take him to the brig.
Totally. Because if people get out of control or get like drunk and disorderly, like you got to be able to lock people up.
Electric chair too? Or no?
No, I don't think there's any electric chairs.
Is there a plank?
Yeah.
My wife has been in a cruise ship, and one of the things she told me was how they get you with, they don't charge. She said sometimes they don't charge you for drinks to the end of the trip.
Shit.
You get that bill, bro. Then she said she got seasick after the bill. What are people saying, babe?
I already gave you everything.
All right. Wow, Rodrigo, what you gotta say? How's your podcast going?
Yeah, man. Podcast episode 77 will be out tomorrow morning. And Los Podcasters del Norte.
We're doing a new episode tomorrow morning.
Yeah, man.
I did a voiceover for a cartoon on Adult Swim. And it was, and they wrote me in, just like I got lucky, that way I could relate to the story, I've been doing stand-up comedy for like 22 years, and the longer I'm in it, the more young people remember me when they get older.
That's great.
And I had to learn right away as soon as I got there. I didn't take a voice acting class, and once I started moving my arms and getting into it, doing this, it was better, I felt good. Instead of I thought it was just going to be talk like, good morning, Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a lot of fun. And I don't know how, you're right, like when you see like big time actors, like I don't want to say their names, but then they talk about voiceover, and they talk about how hard it was. Like, really, it wasn't that hard.
No, you don't have to memorize your lines.
I know, right? You got flown to England to do a voiceover that you could do in Newport.
Totally.
Yeah, man. You think, I know, one last question before I go, because I worked with an actor named Omar Chaparro, and he was in that movie Cars 3 or 4.
He's in the
Pokemon Detective. And they flew everybody to England to do the voiceover. You think they're going to keep doing that in the future, knowing that you can't do that? You could do it cheaper at home?
Yeah, it's so much cheaper at home.
Yeah, he was flown to England for 2 weeks to do all the voiceovers for Pokemon movie.
That's crazy. I guess maybe they wanted everybody to be in the same room together?
Maybe. England? We could have cut costs and done all that in Riverside, California.
Or New England.
Or New England, bro. Or North Park, Atlanta, bro.
Right there, dog.
What's up, fool? Amber Nash, thank you for being with us through the whole podcast.
Thank you so much.
You're awesome, man. And Hopefully one day we can meet you in person and eat some good ass vegan. If you ever want to come to LA, I know the best Mexican vegan food ever. They
Awesome.
make vegan goat meat.
Oh my God. There's also, when you come to Atlanta, there's a great place called Slutty Vegan that just opened up and they make like the most insane sandwiches.
Burgers. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I gotta go there because we went there to Atlanta. I don't know where I ate. I ate Taco Bell beans with a tortilla. What's up, Rodrigo? Thanks, man.
You, bro.
I'll see you next week, man. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thank you, Amber.
Likewise. Thank all of you guys.
Go watch Archer, people, on Adult Swim. Season 11 is coming up. It's on now.
Oh, and happy anniversary, you guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
What up, fool?
Late.
That was awesome. Thank you for staying with us. Your husband came through that refill.
No, right?
Where's he at?
He must have been listening. Oh, shit, I better go do my job.